Yeah, yeah. What they saying? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine.
Welcome to the H.G.R.G podcast. Episode 29 is going to be single family versus multifamily. You know, I just want to be very clear, everyone. We have both, but we do have different feelings for one side than the other. DT, and I'll explain it here. Let me ref this, guys. DT, before I even introduce you guys.
I did my stretches.
I'm going to be very clear here.
Put me in, coach.
DT favors the single families. Just Jerry and I, we favor multifamilies, and we'll get into both sides. It's nothing but love. It might get a little heated sometimes. We've had this conversation.
Ain't no love here. Ain't no love here. No love.
But all in all, regardless of how you invest, we do believe in both. But you know, we kind of started different ways. So we're definitely going to get into that. DT, what's going on? Just Jerry, how you guys doing?
Salute. That was a pretty picture you just painted. I know.
It was good.
I know. Way to make your arguments a little bit more solid. I appreciate that.
It's definitely favor on multis.
Yeah. Good job, bud.
Hands down, man. Even if you look at, you know, if you go online, go on YouTube and you look at single family versus multifamily, I'm pretty sure most of those people, and here I am not looking up anything, most of those people would probably favor the multifamily, you know, the route, especially at first, trying to get into the game.
Cite your source.
It just makes sense. You know, with a multifamily, you know, you can get approved for more, because they take their rents in consideration, right? You got, I don't know, and then not only that, I mean, it gives you a fighting chance. If one person's not paying, the other person may pay.
Go ahead,
right? With the same type of mortgage that you could have against a single family.
He's not done. Keep going.
So, should I keep going? Keep going. All right, keep going. I mean, at the end of the day, especially when you're first. When you're first trying to become an investor, you're getting in for the first time. A multifamily, you know, if you got an FHA loan, right, you definitely want a multifamily. Why not take advantage? I never heard anyone say, I want to use my FHA loan for a single family, especially as an investor, right? You always hear them, I want to use I want to get a multifamily.
You got to get outside more.
I want 3. Listen, I'm outside all day. You know, a 3 family, 3 unit, 4 unit. Yo, they want to jump in there.
Why would you do that then? If he has to go outside more, why would you do that on a single family? Why would you use an FHA loan on a single family?
Answer that question, DT.
Why would you?
Yeah, why would you do that? Because that's not even a movie.
So let me explain this to you.
I'll wait.
That's what we're not.
I know. Before you explain, I know exactly what he's gonna do to Will Smith.
That's what we're not gonna do.
He gonna do.
What we're not gonna do is ask me to defend why I would do what I'm telling the masses to do. What we're gonna do is we're gonna
try to scare us off. Like,
we're gonna ask you to defend why I would do your route, and then I can explain why I would do what I do.
I don't gotta defend something that really happens on a regular basis.
Well, they both happen on a regular basis.
Tell me how. Tell me why too. I want to know, because me personally,
why would you
utilize dumb for me?
Why would you utilize your FHA loan and a single family instead of a multifamily as an investor?
So please do me a favor and don't backpedal when I answer your question.
Listen. There's no Michael Jackson in me.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. All right. So, how many FHA loans can you get?
Well, you can get one, and then you can refinance out of that one, and after 2 years, use an FHA loan again.
So, is there a limit of how many you can get?
There's a time limit, but not a limit per se. But you got to wait.
So the answer to your question is, why would you use an FHA loan for a single family home? Is because I can.
In investment though.
For your first investment though, why would
That wasn't the question.
No, that wasn't the question.
That was
why
my
would you do
statement,
it? Could you do it? You do it just for fun?
See how you
no
guys
money?
play? See how you see how they
All right,
play?
we won't move the goalpost. Why do you
Listen,
why wait?
I fight good against the ropes.
You don't fight right.
We're not doing that.
It doesn't look like you're winning. You're not winning with that one, bro.
Why would you wait?
No. His answer was because I can. That was the dumbest question. That's the dumbest answer in the world.
So Jerry, it's clear. Lance is in the ring. Jerry is the guy on the corner saying, "Hey, shoot a jab, throw a hook, protect your left side."
You just
what
said
it is, this is wrestling, and we're a tag team, right? When the ref's not looking, I'm gonna tag them in. You know,
okay.
And
I just
so I guess
answer why.
I guess I'm gonna tag myself.
The answer why, because I don't want to hear because I can. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do it, bro?
I'm gonna keep telling you, man. You're not gonna put me against the road and make me answer nothing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you either you got.
Are we on a podcast or not, bro? What the fuck? What are we talking about?
What you're gonna do is either you're gonna make your claim or
just asked the question, bro.
Tell me why I should invest, or tell the masses why multis, are better than singles, and then I'll tell you why singles are better than multis.
So we're not debating. We're not debating today.
No, we can debate, but you got to make a claim first, though.
He just made the claim.
Well, your FHA. Listen, I'll reiterate it. Don't worry. Your FHA, if you have
this is called losing, guys. This is called losing.
If you're able to utilize an FHA loan, as an investor, why not use it on a multifamily, especially if it's your first investment? Why wouldn't you?
Oh, you moved the question though, but I let you rock. Go ahead.
I'm glad you said it, Jerry.
I ain't gonna say it too loud. Though.
My guy moved the goalpost. That's what he do. So that's a second question. That's a whole nother perspective. This is the reason why I say to you that what we should do is this, right? Let's not do that. To make this,
he's in the corner right now. He's trying to get a photo, guy. Don't ask me that question.
Hey, listen, Lance, I'm really not.
He threw the towel in already, bro. Already.
Guys, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Singles versus multifamily.
That was the fastest debate I had, bro. Appreciate you.
Right. So what we do is we create points. Okay, those points. You either defend or whatever you make a case for, and then I make a defend or I make a case for it, and then let the people judge. This isn't a trial. I'm not on trial.
No, you're definitely on trial, sir, and you're called to the stand 100%.
Well,
where were you the night of your first investment? At a single family or a multifamily?
I'm going to exercise my legal right as a United States citizen.
To plead the fifth. To plead the fifth.
And that's what's going to happen.
There's plenty of reasons. So we'll move past that because I got you. I guess
this episode is about the pros and cons. That's it, right? That's
what
we don't really want that
pros
smoke.
And cons of each singles and multi. Because we can't debate anymore because you're already threw the towel in, so it's over.
All right, cool.
That was a Mike Tyson type of debate right there.
I'm about biting ears off. I'm with that too.
He was losing that fight too. I just want to let you know that
he lost that fight. He lost that fight.
So we're
if you don't help him, his story doesn't hit as hard. Just so you know, Jerry.
It's all. I'm gonna be the ad lib all day, bro. I'm gonna be the ad lib all day.
That's my hype man right there. All I know is for multifamilies, when you're an investor, especially starting off, you want to go ahead and go with multifamilies because, like I said before, they're gonna give you they can use those tenants that you have as income to help you get approved for more, right? So you can maybe buy a better property or more of a property. If you're gonna use FHA, you definitely want to utilize that because you only got to put down 3.5%, and you want to go ahead and get as many as you can, up to 4. But if you can find a 4 unit, why not? Right? So if you run into a bad tenant and you invested in that property, maybe one tenant isn't paying for you, paying their portion, but the other is. So it gives you a fighting chance.
Yeah. Right.
So there's so many benefits to a multifamily that, to me, it's a no-brainer, and Jerry would agree, it's a no-brainer to go with that rather than a single family, where the ROI is also going to be lower. on top of that.
The cap for what's the caps for single? About 3 to 4. The average.
Tenancy.
Not tenancy. Cap
rate.
Cap rate.
No. Cap rates on a single family could be the same thing as a multi.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Do your homework, bro. That's what I'm saying.
And the reason why he's going to use
don't
it,
come to this like with a knife, or don't come to this
I'm gonna keep
with
it.
a little water gun. We don't do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be straight shooter with you. The average rate is about 3 to 5. Average rate for you Google it. I know that. I'm
not a Google person. I'm a factual person. I have a
Google
portfolio.
That. What's the average for a single family? Is about 5.
No, well, that may be average on a national scale.
Right. We're also in a market where.
Oh my God! But why are we? Don't do that. Don't do that. Because he's gonna give me average of what's going on in the world. He can't do that.
I wouldn't even. I'm gonna be honest with you. If 3 to 5% on your investment was your average, I wouldn't invest.
I'm done with you guys, man.
Period.
That's the average in the world, bro. Single family is about 5%.
That's not what I'm in it for. There's better rates in other places.
The single family is average about 5%.
Well, so you say, excuse me, in our market.
Yeah,
because I know you're going. Because in our market,
we can't fight about our market.
The cap rate is higher.
Talk about singles and multis.
Your ROI, your ROI is higher, right? You know where we're at. But I would still feel that multifamilies have a higher ROI than a single family.
It is.
I know your angle though.
Yeah, but
what's his angle? The market?
Yes, your
turnover.
Your multis have a higher ROI than singles. Yes, it doesn't matter the market because if you're using the same market to compare, yes.
Oh, real quick, DT. So yes.
Yes, the answer is yes.
So it's yes.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
So it's yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't need you to say yes again, bro.
It's safe. It's safe.
I just want to make sure.
SEY. Backwards.
But you said it's the same. Tell me why. Why would it be the same? Why would a single family ROI be the same as a multifamily ROI?
No. So I didn't say it's the same.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that.
Could be
no. The single family on paper, well, however you do it, even in facts, right? Single family multis are going to be different numbers. Obviously, areas, locations, markets changes everything. If you're using apples to apples, single family in this area and a multifamily in the same area, right? Mm-hmm. Your multifamily ROI is going to be higher. Your single family is going to be lower. So is your investment going to be higher. So are your expenses.
For the multifamily.
So is your vacancy. Right. Everything's going to be higher for the multis and everything's going to be lower on the singles. Everything.
But that's a fact though.
So therefore,
I don't. That's all I know how to talk about. It's facts. I'm not doing what you do. I don't do what you do and just talk about regular shit. So what I'm saying is that
you can't tell me. You're not gonna tell me that and then tell me we're not gonna fight. We're not gonna debate. And then tell me whatever I say is not facts, bro. What are you talking about? I can tell you a fact was the average single.
Rewind the footage. I never said that.
we don't have to. They say it for you. That's telling ass.
So
you're saying that.
Let me tell you what I'm saying.
Go ahead. Well, go ahead.
Let me tell you what I'm saying.
Carry yourself.
What I'm saying is that a multifamily, yes, the ROIs are higher. The expenses are higher. Everything is higher on ROI, on ROIs and all that good stuff with multifamily properties. It's lower on single family properties. The only thing that's not higher on a multi than it is on a single is stability. The term of tenancy. That's what's lower. The average stay in a multifamily is lower than the average stay in a single family, which creates turnovers on a higher level. Those numbers have to be taken into consideration. If you take a single family property that you pay $100,000 for, you take a multifamily property that you paid $150,000 for. If you average out what you took in from what you paid out, I promise you the difference isn't as big as you think it is. Singles and doubles. I promise you.
So you're saying
over what time span?
10 years. Everything has to be a 10-year play.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
10-year play. We're not, you know, we're like we really are.
It's not
we're
as high.
seasoned. Hold up, Jake. We're you know, we're seasoned. We don't play this for overnight value. No, we're seasoned. This is long. You know, we play the long game here, right? So, you know, if you don't do 10-year evaluations, then this conversation ain't for you.
So when you say not as high, what does that mean?
You tell me, because you're in the game, right?
You're the one telling me that
you argue your point. I'll argue mine.
The statement, sir. I need to know what you mean by that, sir.
Which part, sir?
I just said it. Do you want me to repeat it?
Yes.
When you say not as high,
which
as
part?
A single, the money, the rate, the money, the return. You said it's not as high as at the end of the game, at the end of the road. Yeah. What do you mean not as high? Is it a little bit high? $2 high? What is it higher than the single? That's all I need to know. Yes or no?
Lance, you answer that.
Is the multifamily,
Lance, you answer that,
more at the end of the road?
Help him. He needs help. He needs help.
I don't need help because you said
help him, Lance.
It's not as high. What does that mean?
Well, I think what just trying to get to is saying
help him, Lance. He needs help.
What he's saying is that if I'm still making more money at the end of the day for a multifamily, that's the route I'm going. So if you're saying it's not a huge,
let him answer.
If you're saying it's not a huge difference, I want to know the difference, because if that difference is significant enough for me to go get a multifamily, that's what I'm going to go with.
If it's $1 more, that means it's more than what the singles do, right? If it's $1 more. Are you saying that? That's what you're saying, sir?
At the end of the day, he's saying that I made more money than you on my multifamily.
I need to know. Please, I need to know. I need to know.
This is rapid. Wait, you're a real hype man right there.
Listen,
it's a real hype man.
What you know, the conversation from your highness here is, you know, which one makes more money? That's not the topic, right? The topic is not which one makes more money.
That's the game.
No, the game is not that.
Make money.
No, we're not though. Not every. Well, if that's the game.
Well, what we do,
because I won't argue that. If the argument is which one makes more money, then this argument is not valid.
Well, we talking. Hold on. Are we talking appreciation or are we talking cash flow?
He just said
no.
That
the argument,
sir. What was the argument? You said
the conversation is which one is better, singles or doubles, right? And then obviously explain why. Okay. Right. The argument is not which one makes more money.
Are we not in the game?
I can create a situation where single family properties,
you can't create the situation. You
can quadruple what a multifamily property does. I can create that situation, which it won't be fair because it's not an equal battle. It's not.
I don't think that would be it wouldn't be apples to apples, and
it wouldn't be apples to apples.
No, it would be because
you're not using
essentially you're arguing. If I bought a multifamily, could I make more money? Because if you approach it in the manner where who's going to make more money, right? If you're approaching it in that manner and you tell me you're going to buy multis, I could tell you I could buy a single and make more money than your multi by 2 or 3, maybe 4.
In the same neighborhood. Because remember, apples to apples, the example is
1,000%.
Well, how enlightenment.
Do you want to have that argument? Because I don't think you do.
I would love for the enlightenment, because if that's the case, if then that means I'm doing something wrong here. If I can make double,
it doesn't mean that's the whole point of the argument, is that you're not doing something wrong, because whichever way we discuss, it's the right way. It's not the wrong way.
I agree with that, because we own everything.
Yeah, we play in multiple different playing fields, but my point is that if this argument should not be money orientated.
It wasn't money orientated when you said it. You said at the end of the 10 years, you would find out it's not as lucrative as you just said.
That's not what I said. What I said is that
use lucrative. Use another word.
Right. So if you use a multifamily property versus a single family property, apples to apples, same neighborhood. In the course of 10 years, if you compare the numbers, the difference is not going to be that sizable. Right. So
what number are you talking about, sir?
When you're talking about difference, you're talking about the money you made, right?
Right. That is correct, sir.
Yeah,
that is correct.
You made about money.
No. I didn't make it about money. If you want to make it about money, you know, what's the best?
You made it about money, Bird, sir. What are you talking about?
That's what we're saying. You made it about money at the end of the day, when you said after 10 years, when you look at the money, there's not a huge difference.
So let me ask you this. So if I said to you that a multifamily does well, but a single family is better, your next question would be what?
In what way?
I say to you, the tenancy is a longer term, right? Mm-hmm. What would your next response be?
In return, does that mean more money?
No, tenancy. I said your tenancy is better.
But
in return, would that mean more money because they're staying longer?
That wouldn't be my stance. But if you're asking me, I would tell you your tenancy means that there's less expenses.
In return, still means more money in my pocket.
If you want to,
that all equates to more money in your pocket, right?
Anything we talk about, this whole conversation equates to money. That's my whole point. My point is that
what?
Yeah, no.
Hey, are you listening? Because maybe I'm not listening.
You guys are amazing.
For the record, ladies and gentlemen, Dan does not do drugs.
You're gonna make the conversation right about singles and doubles. And I mentioned what I mentioned, and you're gonna tell me.
We just asked the question because of what you said, sir. That's all.
Well, I mean that would be a deciding factor for most people, right? Should I get a single or should I get a multifamily? You know, and which one brings in more money?
Let me flip the script, right?
Let me hold on.
I don't want you to ask the question.
Let me ask you a question. So when you save money, because there's an X factor to everything we do about factoring vacancies. What is the number for singles?
What are you talking about? Money?
Yeah, absolutely. Because everything's about money. Yes. Okay. But anyway, let's go back to what do you hold for vacancies?
For singles or multis?
Singles.
I don't.
You don't hold anything?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that smart?
What about you, Jared?
Me, I don't, because I know my singles, there's really no vacancy periods. I don't. My vacancies on my singles are while I'm getting them ready for the next tenant. If that takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, maybe.
But it costs,
from beginning till end, like the whole process from a tenant moving out to a tenant moving in, 1 month, that security deposit from the previous tenant carries over. So there really is no.
But a rent ready costs though, right? So I mean that's out of pocket.
Yeah, but rent ready is an expense. Vacancy is a different.
Okay, so you just
that's a different.
Vacancy.
Yeah,
so
that's
there's really no vacancy.
Yeah,
there's not a month that goes by where you're not really getting paid. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So
can I ask you the same question in response, or no? No, I don't get questions.
You can have the answer. We usually have 5%. That would be safe.
So if you have 5% more expenses, is that
no 5%? Just in case, go ahead. That's the vacancy, 5%.
You talking about the money we put aside for
is that an expense? Is that a loss? What is that? 5% of what?
Of rents we collect.
So if you collect $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year, you're telling me you take 5% of that 12,000 and you allocate that towards vacancies?
Yeah, towards everything across the board.
No, that's so your only expense is 5%?
No, I'm talking about for vacancies. Sorry.
Okay, so that's what I said. So 5% of your $12,000 average, your income is allocated towards vacancies.
Correct.
So that number, that 5% is 5% more than I would probably allocate towards my singles. So that number right there, you start already 5%.
Yeah, but I just never heard that. That's you personally. But I never heard that in my life.
I mean, I wouldn't suggest that most people do that, right? You want a little bit of a kitty sitting there. You can make it rent ready for the next person.
Right. So you're not wrong.
So that's what he's saying. You don't allocate anything to your savings.
He's saying him.
Me a question.
But you're talking to the audience. Then you're not talking about you personally.
So then
you say personally, I did a lot of things that I won't, that the next person won't do.
So your question should be.
I need you to stop doing that.
Hey,
I don't need it. No. You know the audience we're talking.
Me,
I don't have to. No.
You should say.
I don't have to ask you anything
investor,
in particular. You know the audience you're talking about. I don't have to tell you that.
Oh, word. Okay. So
we already know that.
So my argument should be based off what the audience thinks.
If you're going to talk about yourself,
it should be more generalized.
Half these people can't touch what we do. What are we doing?
Get out of here.
Now get out of here. I'll hold that, sir.
Get out of here.
All right.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah. It should be. Well, we should speak.
You should. We're not on a podcast giving information out. We're talking about ourselves. That's it. What are we talking? You don't smoke, bro. So what's going on with you? Understood, bro. Understood.
Yeah, that's what happens when you got a portfolio like him. You know
what I'm saying?
You just party all day.
Gotta stay up. Living the dream.
Hey man, gotta be out here.
This is why he don't sleep for 3 days straight. To get the H.G.R.G members right.
We gotta be out here. Gotta be out here.
No, let me ask you this. Let me bring it back a little bit. Let me ask you this. When it comes to single families, give me the benefits of it. Right, I gave you a lot of multifamily benefits of it. Give me the single family.
Let's clean it up, guys. Let's clean it up.
Let's really get into it, because I know a lot of people really want to hear what the benefits are: multifamily versus single family.
Yeah.
So for you, being a single family lover that owns multifamilies as well, for the record, what is it about the single families?
And we'll buy more.
That attracts you to the single families. What is it?
So single families are, it's a super safe investment, a lot less responsibilities, a lot less headaches, a lot less phone calls, a lot less surprises, a lot less just figuring it out. So when you have multifamily properties, you got to deal with tenants, upstairs, downstairs, parking, noises. If there's more than 2 units, you're talking about hallway spaces, who stores things here, who stores things there. With a single family, you don't got to worry about that. It's one property, one family occupies that property. If there's a problem, it's either with the unit itself or with maybe, the next door neighbor or somebody there. Now, if it's a next door neighbor problem, I would say probably 99% of the time, you don't hear that problem. That's between them, and you don't handle that. Maybe 1% or so you'll hear, oh, my next door neighbor, played music too loud, or, whatever. So on a single family, it's just literally 100% less headaches. It's in real estate, most people who are very affluent, who have a lot of money and are investors that are like, super seasoned, like older investors, respectfully, they tend to invest into less headaches. Yeah, I get it. Multifamilies, I could probably see more money, but really what it boils down to is higher risk, higher reward, right? So single families are lower risks, lower rewards, and it comes at a premium. It comes at a premium. It comes at a premium. So
he's not lying about that.
Yeah. So I have, some of my multis, I'm an avid believer in single family properties. Some of my single family properties, when I tell you that I almost forget that I own them, I mean that. And that shit sounds crazy. You would think, like, really, you forget you own this property? I promise you, I almost forget that I own the property because I don't do nothing. It's been years since I've even called or asked. The only time I remember really about the properties is when my tax guy asked me, what were your expenses on this property? And most of the time he doesn't ask me because I just send him my portal app, and he goes into there and he figures it all out. But there's a time or two when maybe a number doesn't add up, and he says, hey, at this property, there was a hot water tank or something like that. What was the number? Because there's no number. And then I'll have to, oh shit, damn, I forgot. I own that house. I forgot. It happens really, like, because
and I just want to be clear. He's not saying that he's a slumlord that he's not around. So he's just saying it's so maintenance free.
It's zero maintenance.
That it's almost like he forgets about it because there's nothing he has to do for him. Right. Everything is cool. They're good tenants. Everything is fine. They're happy. He's happy.
Yep.
It's almost like he can forget about it. So I just wanted to clean that up.
Yep. No, I appreciate that. So I got properties that I owned, 14 years. I own this property, right? I think I've been there twice in 14 years. Once was to replace a furnace, and I did that because I wanted to. I remember a Christmas that the tenant called and they said the furnace wasn't working right. So I sent somebody out there, and my contractor was like, "Hey, the thermostat is messed up." So I was like, you know what? I love that tenant. They're amazing. Why don't we put a digital one in there and let her connect it to her phone, like one of the Nest joints? So it was, whatever. So I knew she would appreciate that, right? So he did that. He put a Nest in there. And when I tell you, she called me and like, she didn't cry, but she was like so appreciative of that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go there tomorrow and I want to just look at the furnace and I want to replace the furnace. So I met the guy there. We put a whole new furnace in it because I just wanted to do that for her because she's an amazing tenant. So that's the one time. The second time I went there was because I installed glass block windows in the basement windows, just because I wanted to. She didn't ask me for that. I just did it because I wanted to. That was it.
And that probably locks her down for I don't know how many years after that. Because
she's not going. No, I actually lowered her rent. You don't hear that. I promise you to God, I lowered her rent.
To keep her.
Yeah. Because I tell you, I almost forget. And this is the house that I grew up in. I was born and raised in this house. And I end up being fortunate enough to buy it. So I bought it. She's been there for 14 years. And I just don't even remember. I don't even drive down that street. I don't go in that neighborhood because I just don't want to bother her. I don't want her to feel like I'm a creepy landlord. But long story short, 14, this lady's I don't even have a mortgage on it. But if I did, she paid the most of it already.
All right, stop your stunting. I don't have a mortgage.
No, I'm just saying, if I did, she paid it already.
But you said something I want to ask you about, right? I try to always think from their point of view.
Yeah.
You said something about parking. How could that be an issue? Because you have a multifamily and you talk about parking. Give me an example of that.
You never lived in New York City?
Right, that's a fact. Right.
So first of all, we're generalizing. Here we go. We're not going to make it about us.
Whoever went to New York City, they know parking is not. Everybody complains about parking in New York. You don't even got to be from there.
So in our market, we don't have New York City problems. Which Jerry, I remember my brother. I remember being on the phone with my brother when he come home from work. He get home from work around 7 o'clock at night. Mind you, he worked a regular. He worked like a I don't remember his hours. I want to say it was like 8 to 4 or 9 to 5, one of the two. Long story short, if it was a 9 to 5, he used to leave his house at like 6 in the morning to get to work. So initially he took trains. It took him like an hour and 45 minutes to get to work on a train. Right. So he lived in Brooklyn. He worked in Manhattan. Hour and 45 minutes there.
That was
hour and 45, 2 hours back when he took the train. But he had a car the whole time up here where we at. So he ended up driving his car down there. When he drove his car down, it took him 2.5 hours to get to work in the car. So it took him an hour and 45 in the train, 2.5 in the car, plus gas and all that stuff. So he was doing it just because he did it. Long story short, I remember he used to call me when he got back to Brooklyn and was just looking for parking. And we'd be on the phone for an hour.
Yes.
And all he's doing is looking for parking.
That's ugly. That's ugly when you got to call somebody because you need somebody to talk to.
Bro, I got an hour to waste right now. I know it's going to take me at least that long to find a parking in my neighborhoods. I like that right there to me is I couldn't do it. I'm spoiled. Yeah, I'm spoiled.
So this is not obviously our market is Rochester, New York, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like the city. So give me an example of, tenants have an issue with parking.
Yeah. So in multifamilies here, 2 family, 3 family, 4 families, and, even commercial units, 5 or better. Sometimes those properties don't have one parking spot available for any tenant. So you got to find street parking, which refers back to like New York City style parking. But in our market, if I can't see my car from my window, that's like crazy. Like that's unbelievable. Like I should have a driveway. So to not have a driveway is not really a familiar territory. And even if you don't have a driveway, we don't really have that much traffic and that many on-street parking to not be able to park, within the arm's reach from your house. So
where does the problem lie?
The problem is because if you do have parking, let's say you have a 3-unit property and there's one driveway. When you pull in that driveway, you got 3 tenants. Let's say you got 3 cars. There's only one way in, one way out. So if tenant 1 pulls in, tenant 2 pulls behind them, now there's a problem because tenant 1 has to leave and tenant 2's car is behind them. So I knock on the door. I'm not moving, I'm sleeping or whatever. And now I'm stuck and it's a problem. It becomes a nuisance. It's like a headache. Whose driveway is this? A huge problem with like just the fluidity in a rental market with multifamilies is parking for sure. Even porch space. Porch space, like when you walk into a property.
So they just got to share everything.
Yeah, you got to share all spaces. And then, some people feel a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Long story short, I've been here for 4 years, right?
Oh, they got seniority.
Entitled. Perfect. My bad, Jay. Perfect, Jerry. Yeah, I feel more entitled because I've lived here for 4 years. You just moved in here yesterday. Yeah, this is a common space, but it's domineered by me. I'm entitled to this.
Right.
Which that's not really the fact. The fact is it's common space. I don't care if I moved in yesterday. It's just as much as my space as it is yours.
Right. I pay the same rate you pay.
As a matter of fact, I probably pay more because I just moved in yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm new, so I'm paying the higher amount. You've been here for a while, so you probably pay a lower amount, whatever. So, that's a big problem in the multi-family like space. That's a big problem.
Jerry, do you believe that causes turnover?
I don't believe it causes turnover, but it does have friction. You do have friction.
How do you not believe that causes turnover, brother?
Because the reason why is because if you walk in, unless you have beef with your neighbor,
mm-hmm.
if you're in good terms and you're still saying what you're saying, I've been here for 4 years, you just got here, but we're in good terms. I don't think that considers turnover. I would say you would be upset, or now you would walk around with a little chip on your shoulder saying, I can't use this because this guy's gonna talk smack. But I don't think it's turnover 100%.
What about the perspective to say, okay, there's 3, I have to deal with multiple personalities within this property.
I was definitely going to include that.
Go ahead.
So yes, so you're right when you say different personalities make you want to get a single family. 1,000%. So when you say single family, if you're a tenant based conversation, I would want to live in a single family because I don't have nobody else around me. 1,000%. I agree with you.
If it's affordable.
If it's affordable, correct. So I do agree with you. Now, if you ever been in a building, like a building form? You ever lived in a building form?
Yes,
I have for sure.
So do you remember the camaraderie with the building on the floor? You had
I never talked to my neighbor.
Really? Oh, so in my life, my floor was the most exciting floor of the building. We had everybody, doors was open, everybody loved each other. Yo, can I borrow some sugar? So that camaraderie is crazy. We stood there for 15, 17,
Let's make years. This episode about a throwback Thursday.
No, I'm not doing
your
that.
floor was like.
I'm just saying. It didn't tell.
And this is why multifamilies are great, because all the neighbors party.
But you said turnover.
Hey man, listen, G, I understand you had a great life.
So let me ask you a question. When you have story times, can I have a story time too?
Listen, I almost got emotional right there. Like,
no, but to be honest,
back to a place
we have never went the 4th floor. That's the floor I lived on. Never said I'm moving because
who were they going to get sugar from?
So you're right when turnover, and when you're wrong, you're wrong. All right, goodbye. I'm just telling you, we never said we were going to move.
I know.
When you're gelling, when you have good tenants,
and
you're gelling, that conversation of moving doesn't really happen.
I'm gonna defer to that. That's a different era though. Like that life, that respect for that respect for commonalities like values, and that just doesn't exist no more. It's not the same, right? It's not the same. Like you don't have that, it takes a neighborhood to raise a child mentality no more. That just doesn't exist. Like it's every man for himself. Now, that's just what our reality is in 2022. It's no longer like so when you ask me if I ever lived in a building,
don't tell us a story now.
My understanding of a building was like a 3 or 4 unit. It wasn't like a whole, like a project where there was 14, 15 apartments on the same level. Like mine was like 3 or 4 units in the whole building. You know what I'm saying? Like basement, first floor, second floor, third floor, whatever. That was my understanding of a building. And I had that camaraderie within that building that we could knock on the door and ask for the sugar. I've been there, but that was when I was young. You know what I'm saying? When I'm like, as an adult right now, like it's crazy even to do an inspection, just a regular inspection at a property. If the upstairs neighbor knocks on the downstairs neighbor's door, that's a problem. Like, why are you not?
So is that another thing with single and multifamily?
1,000%.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah, you got to understand, bro. Like, it's not the same, man. Nobody. It's like, and maybe there's a place, maybe there's a neighborhood, maybe there's a state or a city that this. Maybe you got to go to Florida to find this. I don't know. Maybe you got to go down south somewhere. But in New York State, upstate New York, because let's be clear, we're not New York City. We're not the 5 boroughs. Let's be clear. You got to separate that. We're upstate New York. In New York, upstate, Buffalo, Rochester, specifically Rochester, bro, you can't knock on somebody's door without a legit reason. You can't knock on somebody's door like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were so-and-so. And they're gonna be like, oh, no problem. Like that doesn't happen here. It's a problem on a multifamily unit. If you make a mistake, it's an issue. Like it's dangerous. It's crazy. So that in itself is like,
So you're saying beyond the money, right? Even if you can make a little more money with the multifamilies, it's just not worth the headache all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why you're in love with the single families, but yet you still invest with multifamilies because a good buy is a good buy. You're not going to let that go. We know that.
The only thing I would change from what you just said is that
don't change anything. I'm the host.
The only thing that I would change is that the fact that the single family purchase would be what I prefer. Would I do multis? Yes. Because if the numbers work, they work.
Right.
Because as an investor, right, if I have a problem with multifamily investments and I don't like the day-to-day, the bad tenants, the dealing with the chaos and all that stuff, then I hire a management team that alleviates my responsibility. But mind you, hiring a management team comes with a price tag.
It does come with a price tag.
So the numbers don't, they don't equate the same.
But the headache kind of goes away though.
Right. So it's a yin and a yang, right?
With a single, you wouldn't do a property management?
Well, it depends on my life. So I have to be general now, right?
Yeah, we won't have to be general, bro.
Yeah, so I gotta speak generally, right? So
don't look at me like that. You're the one who generalize, yes.
Would I hire? So if I'm somebody who's watching the podcast and I invested in my market in my city for a bunch of single family properties, would I hire a management team? I would say initially no. I probably would do it once I got to a point where it became overwhelming for me. If that meant 10 units, 5 units, 3 units, because
and that's if you're local.
If I'm in my market. Now,
right.
If I invest in a third party market, then 100% you got to have men in the team. Like there's no.
So let's go back to what you said. So single families, whatever you get to overwhelming. So you saying locally, multifamily, you automatically get into property management? That's what you're saying? If you're buying locally and you're buying multifamilies?
No. No.
Okay, so even then you would still.
Because I'm only asking that because you made it seem like one you'll let go, one you won't.
Right. You were showing like single family, I'll handle it myself, especially local. Multifamily, not so much because of the headaches. So
right. I can see how you said that. So to recant that statement, I would say that no matter whether it's single or multis, I would handle either or, right? Singles or multis, as many as I could until it became overwhelming.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, singles or multis. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's in a local market. And if I'm not local, it'd be management right off the start. Like, I agree. Yeah, 100%.
Just Jerry, what's your favorite thing about multifamilies? I know this, that you're big on multifamilies. So what is it that stands out the most?
I'm big on multifamily because it helps you grow. It helps you grow because you get 2 tenants, you get 2 incomes, you get 2 chances. Banks use that as well. So the difference in a single and
I love that. I love that. No, I do. I love that.
That's I thought he's gonna come at me. I thought he was coming, bro.
I love that. I love that.
The banks use your tenants as income. So single family, they can use that, but if you only have one single family, they divide certain things, they divide some numbers, and you can't really use a single to go get more 100%.
Yep.
A multifamily, you can't, because one side is paying the rent and they're using the other side as income.
Mm-hmm. A portion of the other.
75%, I believe.
75 or 70%, something like that. Yep. So if you are getting into the game, it gives you a better chance of getting another one. So multi-for me, I'm trying to maximize my dollar every time I get to another property. Yeah. This helps me.
So you're looking at growth.
I'm always looking at growth. We're doing it for growth.
What I would challenge, everyone who's listening, I can't challenge you guys because you guys are foul. But what I would challenge listeners is that when you get to a certain point in your investment career, you're gonna want to be a lot less hands-on, right? You're gonna want to be more hands-off, right?
100%.
So your return being a little bit higher, investing in these type of properties are not going to be as relevant to you, right? You're going to put a dollar amount and you're going to put a return on that dollar amount. If I invest $200K here, what do I want to see in a return? Okay, yeah, you know what? I could probably make more if I did that, but I'm okay with this number. Like, I just don't want the headaches no more, and that comes with single family investments.
You want smooth sailing.
It does. And also it comes with like complex investments. So there's like single families, there's multifamilies, and then there's complexes. There's apartment complexes of, anywhere from, 10 units to 2,000 unit complexes, right? When you have a 2,000 unit complex in one location, that can become as headache free as a single family eventually. Because you have all your problems in one place.
One shot. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not opposed to that. I'm for that. Honestly, that's my dream. That's my goal, is to buy a complex that has, I'd say at least 500 units is what I would
What's up, like. H.G.R.G? We going to get one?
The problem with that is that they're few and far between. You can't find a 500 unit complex here.
Maybe not in our market.
In our market, right?
But it's not to say that they're not out there though. Right. So because I've done some research on that, and there's something Jerry and I've done some research on that, and I think we saw one in like Louisiana, something like that. We were looking at, but it was beat up. It was going to need $250,000 of work done to it, but
that's cheap.
But at the end of the day.
That's cheap. $250,000 on 500 units. That's cheap.
So I don't know the units. I can't remember the units.
It was 72 units. 72 units, $250,000. And by the time he even looked at it and think about it, it was sold already.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something that we've had on our mind as well.
Right. That's the goal. So even though I talk heavy and I'm avid like single family, and you know, Jerry and Lance, they can talk whatever they want to talk.
Yeah, you know,
they own singles as well.
We only talking smack because
we talk heavy.
It's that time of
We all got into the game a different way. You know, he came in singles, we came in multifamilies. You know, but at the end of the day, we ended up, you know, with our similar portfolios, with a mixture.
What we'll tell you, if it makes sense, it makes sense. Doesn't matter if it's a single, if it's a double, or it's a triple, or whatever it is, a multifamily. If it makes sense, it makes sense. So we're gonna jump on it if it makes sense. Yes, we're debating, but we are on the same page 1,000%.
Facts. Absolutely. Let's bring facts to the table, right? Single families are a cheaper investment and you're going to less return. Single families, you only got to put down 15%.
I thought it was 20.
15% for a single family. Whatever it is, for an investment property.
The Lance, I was trying to help us out a little bit.
You know, you get
20 no matter what he said.
You get the number, you get the rent, you get the rent that you're gonna get. You know, 9 times out of 10, I don't know what Jerry was talking about, 3 to 5%. That market lead, come over here because that ain't right.
Sir, you know, the average. That's not the market, that's the average.
You know, we talking about 10 to 12 is a normal over here, but so 15%. 10 to 12% of your return, cash on cash, obviously difference in if you're a cash investor as opposed to financing. You know, your normal typical, you know, tenancy is probably 3 to 5 years for a single. If you're a first-time investor, 15% is a little bit more easy to afford than it is for 25 to 30% for a double or multi, whatever. At the end of the day, it's a long game for the single family, right?
Sure.
Now, for the duplexes, you know, you got to put 25 to 30% down. You do have, like, that's why I laughed earlier when Jerry said it, you got 2 shots, right? So one side pays your bills, the other side is your profit, minus a couple of dollars for your expenses. But, you know, nevertheless, that's kind of the theory. There is a higher risk, higher reward on that type of property, but can't deny, won't deny, it's a fact. You will grow faster if you start in the multifamily game. Able to, like,
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, sorry, DT.
No, listen, you got to, you know, facts are facts. You can't lie about that, right? So if you're able to refinance, you know, leverage your portfolio, if you invest in multifamily properties first, you will definitely grow faster doing it that way. So I would say, we would say collectively, if you had one way to pick and you're going to enter in the game, what's the best, fastest way to do it? My opinion, our opinion, I think we all agree on this, would be the multifamily way.
I think we do agree on that, sir.
Right. But also, I'm not sure if we agree, but I would refer back to when you're on that, like, when you're in that level or that place in life where you're like, you know, I'm like retirement, or how do I want to exit the game? What's my exit strategy? It would be for, like, the less headaches, the less issues, like the easier, just passive, super passive, that would lead you back to the single families, you know, so and that's kind of
grow with the multifamilies, right? And then start to even it out with the single families towards the end. Right?
And that's what I did in my portfolio. And that's what I did in my life. You know, I grew how I could. Singles, multis, whatever the best deal was. I'm talking about, I bought them all, and I bought fire damage. I bought the cheapest properties I could. I didn't care where they were, how they were, what they were. I bought them all. I got to a point where I owned doubles, I owned singles, I owned properties I hated. I bought properties I hated, but I bought them because I could afford them. Then I got to a place where my portfolio got to a number. I was like, okay, it sustains itself. I'm chilling.
So what you're saying is, when you get to the number, you pick peace.
Right. Then you clean your portfolio. Okay. And you clean it to your advantage. You help, you take that and you use that to get you to where you want to be. So I took all my doubles that were up and downs. I got rid of them. I kept my side by sides.
That's a gem. That is a gem.
I took all my single.
Hold on. Let me stop you. This is my show. I mean, this is our show. So you tell us why you decide to get rid of, when he means up and downs, he means a tenant on the bottom and a tenant on the top.
Yeah.
Side by side is a tenant on one side, a tenant on the other. Right. So tell us why you got rid of the bottom and the top, or the up and down. Excuse me.
The tenant downstairs works from, they work a 9 to 5, right? So they work at 9 o'clock in the morning, come home at 5. When they come home at 5, they have dinner, chill, boom, they're in bed by 9, 10 o'clock. Tenant upstairs works, 5 to 9, or 5 to 2 in the morning. They come home at 2 in the morning. They bang, bang, bang. They got 2, 3 kids. Like it's just always a problem. They slam their door too hard. They take showers at 2 in the morning.
I can hear them stomping.
Yeah, their television's on past 10 o'clock. It's just a headache. And I'm talking about, you have to be a real life counselor for these people. So I said, I'm done with this. Personally, mind you, I still manage them, but I don't own them. I got rid of them because I don't want them headaches. Side by side, all they share is one wall.
Let me ask you a question. Maybe this is an oxymoron. You still manage them anyway. You're still dealing with it anyway.
Yeah, but
just buy it.
But now I get paid for that. So when I own them,
bro.
Yeah, but when I own them, it costs me time to deal with that.
This called management, property management.
But I am the management team.
Oh, shit.
So now you're calling me, and now I have to deal with a me problem, and I got to pay my staff. So it's for free. I'm dealing with a me problem for free. I'm not doing me problems.
So if it's somebody else's, at least you're getting paid regardless.
If I'm going to deal with it, I'm going to deal with it. Right? Okay, no problem. Somebody's going to get paid to deal with it. I just don't want to be the one paying them to deal with it. And I'm okay with that. I'll sell all them upstairs, downstairs. You can buy them. You can make all the money from them. I don't want to pay for those headaches. You can. I just don't want to be the guy to do that.
Listen, there's a lot of information, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of information about, single family versus multifamily. Once again, I want to reiterate, well, actually, before I jump in there, Jerry, anything else you want to say about single family versus multifamily?
I don't remember where I left off, but I know it's.
You left off killing Dan, man.
No, killing Dan. We in a multifamily, you get higher cash flow. You get, just like DT said, you have higher risk, higher rewards.
So why are you repeating it?
Because he asked me about.
He didn't ask you to repeat the highlights of this episode. He said, "Do you have anything new?" What are we doing, bro?
If this is the only fact you got, you can fight this fact book because I won the whole argument. So I'm good with this. If you're going to come with that,
that's fine.
Anyway,
that's fine.
He stood up. How we. I'll save it for my exit. But go ahead.
You never had an exit. You're not gonna start.
I'm gonna have one today. I know that.
And the cap rate is a little higher than singles though. So me personally, I like multifamilies because this gives you a better chance, man. Better chance to grow. So I'm good with that. I'm good with my statements, man.
Right. It definitely a better chance to grow. DT, anything else you want to give them before I end this form and let them know?
Yeah, so I fought a fair fight, right? I fought a fair fight. We put boxing gloves on. I didn't put no additives in my gloves. We shot shots, whatever. Blows were taken. People fell. People got up. It is what it is, right? We never even
speak for yourself.
We never even took on the single family route of the short term rentals. We never talked about Airbnb, short-term rentals, and what that looks like for single-family properties, and how that blows anything multifamily can ever do with the term. We never talked about that because I don't want to bring in a variable that's like, oh yeah, that's an oxymoron, whatever. I didn't want to do that. But
ET, are you done?
No, I'm not.
I'll let you know. Airbnb, what the?
I'll let you know when I'm done.
Yes, I appreciate it.
We hold tight. Thank you. So we didn't even go there, right? Because it's really not. It's not a need to do that. I mean, I think I fought a good fight. I mean, maybe a split decision. I may lose. I may win. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But nevertheless, my ace in the hole is always, the boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Which would be that, you know, short-term rental thing, which we didn't expose. We didn't go into that, but you guys don't even have a fight for that. Like if I brought that into the fight, it would be like, what are we gonna do now?
But you also
you're done. Your conversation, your mic should be turned off.
I'm the one who won, bro. I'll shut up.
Because you win, your mic stays on longer?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the winner. I've been here 4 years, bro. I've been here 4 years.
This is his porch. So I'm gonna end it like this. I will say this. Listen, there's no matter what, just to be very clear for everyone, if you didn't hear us before, we own both. You know, we came into the game differently. You know, we have a little more love for multifamilies. DT, you know, has love.
We speak for yourself, brother.
When I say we, I'm talking about Jerry and I. You know, DT is a single family guy.
So there's no more H.G.R.G right now.
And we're safe. We will be back with another episode. H.G.R.G is still intact, well intact. But I will say this.
I'm about to say I don't know if I'm with you guys no more.
I will say this.
4 years. I don't know. I might have been here for.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. Just today, I don't know.
Too long.
Here is what the topic that he ran from, right? And I ended like this. We don't have to jump back into the discussion. But when I spoke about the FHA loans and using that as your first multifamily, right? And so where you get 3.5%, and you go ahead and get a multifamily, because that's the best route you could take. He had nothing to say for that. He was against the ropes. He was moonwalking. He was backtracking. He was stuttering. You know, he ain't know what to do. So at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. But I'm gonna leave that alone, DT. You know, it was a knockout punch.
We got a whole. But it was too early. We got a whole episode that refers to that conversation. I didn't say that because we already talked about it.
It was too early to hit you with the FHA blow. I apologize. It stunned you early. You were wobbling. You know, you were saved by the bell, and that's fine. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. Another episode, guys. Single family versus multifamily, and listen. Hopefully we gave you, you know, our perspectives and you learned a lot from it. You know, come mess with us, HGRG.club, man.
Please, man. Salute. Appreciate you.
Yeah. What they say? I'm so divine. Perfection, my presence shines. My mental's parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine.